Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sim Racer Hub NASRA Truck Series as we rock and roll along into season number 2. And tonight we take on the Dover Motor Speedway. It's the Hoopties Garage 150, presented by NASRA Racing. It's, of course, exclusive coverage on the NASRA 360 Racing Network and our broadcast platforms on Facebook and YouTube. I am Wesley Outland, and I'm joined again by William Tiller. Always great having him alongside after him having his health issues. Good to have him in the booth. And, of course, Adam Flieger is the producer. Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott are the operators of the North American Sim Racing Association. Now, William, the Munster Mile could be your best friend like Sully or your worst friend like Randall, referencing to the movie Munsters Incorporated. Miles the Munster is ready to chop up some drivers. William, what do you think we're going to see here tonight?
We're gonna see a lot of patience in tonight's race. Dover International Speedway, as you mentioned, nicknamed the Monster Mile, is 1 mile concrete oval with 24-degree bankings in the turn, 9-degree bankings on the straight. Here tonight, we're gonna be rocking with 30 laps in stage number 1, 75 laps in stage number 2, 150 laps total in tonight's race. 4 sets of drivers for these drivers, and a little wrench in the mix here tonight, Wesley. These drivers have a 75% fuel capacity they're going to be rocking with.
That's going to make it very interesting to see how that goes with the fuel capacity, because it's not going to be at 100%, obviously, so that kind of cuts down the laps by about a quarter distance to what you would normally see them run. Fast repairs are 0. You wreck your car, you damage it to not be able to go on the damage clock, and you are out. Incident point penalties are 0. Incident points for DQ is 30. 3 attempts at a green-white checker if need be, and, of course, it is a morning time of day here at the Dover Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at the starting lineup as the field rolls off pit road. Stiers and Lothian are on row number 1. Daniels, Maurer, row 2. Chew and Lumpkin make up row number 3. Miller, Newton, row 4. Row 5, Hamilton, and a recent winner on the series, Joey Doucette.
We look past the 10th spot there. We got Stephen Thomas in that 4 machine rolling off 11th. Robbie Richards in that 48 rolling off 12th. 13th position is Justin White in that 2. Jake McClinkart in the 1 will roll off 14th. Steve Barnett in that 42 machine, rocking the only Toyota in the mix right there, Wesley. It's going to roll off 15th here tonight. 16th position is going to be occupied by the 10 of Adam Cantwell. We look at the 17th position of James E. Morris in that 47. And rounding out our top 20, we have Zach Hartwick and Brennan Broadfoot.
There you go, and of course we're going to have James Morris obviously in the 20th position. Then it's Brandon Broadfoot, Jason Morales, row number 11. That's your top 22, as the rest of the grid will go on up there with Derek Kilgore, Hunter Parsons, row 12. Row 13, Pugh and Osborne, Kynes, Hammond, Meza, Dittmer, your top 30. Tribune, Johnson, LaBeouf, Bullock, all in the back, 34 trucks. Do we have any more takers? Yes, we do. Of course, Hess, Hagan, Hunter. And that is the lineup. All these other drivers, Donnie Lyons, Cody Knott, TJ Moore is obviously the race director of the NASRA Sim Racer Hub Truck Series. By the way, this race broadcast is brought to you by Hoopties Garage. Hoopties Garage, again, one-person ran small automotive garage in St. Louis, Missouri, and they also post YouTube videos on car repairs. Of course, you need help working on your cars, needing to see how things are done by the professionals. Let Hoopties Garage take care of you on YouTube at Hoopties Garage and Hoopties Garage on Facebook. We're ready to go again for stage number 1. It will be, again, the lap number 35. Or lap number 30, correction. Then we go another 40 laps or 45 laps to the halfway mark of the race, and then there'll be that 75-lap run to the checker, as we mentioned in the stages for the Hoopties Garage 150, 1 mile track. Of course, 24 degrees of banking. All of this and more as we continue the run towards the All-Star race, which I believe is next Monday night. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Barney, the iRacing flagman, looking the field over. We're ready to go in the Hoopties Garage 150. Here they come side by side, but not for long. Green flag in the air, and 39 plus screaming trucks snarl in their virtual warlords go into turn number 1, and we're underway.
Yeah, you see right now already bunched up 3 wide in the corner there. Wesley, as Joey Steyer is already under fire for the race lead into 3 and 4. They're wasting no time side by side for the lead as we come off of 4.
Working off of turn number 4, off that 24 degrees of banking down the front straightaway. Give the opening lap again. Going to all of these drivers. I've got one truck down at the bottom of the racetrack.
That's our race leader. That's our pole sitter.
Oh, no.
That's Joey Steyer down on the apron there on the front stretch here at the Monster Mile. Early troubles for the 23 machine.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that to find out what's going on with that story there for the driver of Joey Steyer's, of course, one of those guys that has recently been doing really, really well in this series, but fortunately not tonight as we go under, again, the green flag. He gets about a lap in, and then something goes wrong. Here comes the pack working their way with now Maurer and company going down into the corner into 3 and 4.
You see already the patience being right there as you see a big battle for the lead already. That is going down into the corner. Nathan Maurer is under fire. Nathan Maurer wants to get that win here this season. Caution is out on the racetrack. Our first caution of the night.
And caution flag is presented by Serve Pro as the yellow flag will come out over the racetrack. We'll find out what happened here while we're under the yellow flag quickly in the opening laps of stage 1 of the Hoopties Garage 150, William Tiller.
Check out our Serve Pro caution flag instant replay here. Look at that. That's the 47 machine of James D. Morris there. We're going to see going into the corner. See what happens right now. It looks like down on the straight, we're going to have some issues. Down into the corner. And you see right there the one of Jacob Klinkart. Not seeing what brought out that caution. Oh, there's the 23 of Joey Steyers. That might be the issue right there.
Yeah, tough break here for Joey Steyers. And remember, we mentioned him having a problem earlier when the race got started on lap number 1. And now we see Joey Steyers, it looked like he came out of the pits and then something happened to him here. And, oh, wow, this is not good for Brandon Bullock as well, the number 17 out of Macon, Missouri, as we see him exit off of pit road. He might have had something to do with that accident as well. So Steyers and Bullock having problems. All of this taking place. Look like Nate Maurer might have had a little inkin' blinking for just a moment as we see all of the other trucks. I guess we're just showing all these trucks going around the racetrack. But anyhow, we're under the yellow flag for the first time tonight. The yellow flag is presented by Serve Pro, restoring homes affected by fire, water, mold, or hurricanes like it never even happened before. Don't stress about the mess. Contact Serve Pro today at servepro.com. Fire and water cleanup and restoration, Serve Pro. And I find it ironic, William, that we got actually got pit road opened here earlier. Very early in Drivers Wrong Pit Road.
Very early on in this race. I don't even think we cracked double digits before that yellow flag flew here tonight. And it gives us a chance to talk about next week here for our last week here, Wesley. The boss man, Brady LaBeouf, he became our 6th driver locked into those playoff races. So that was big for him to get that done. And then another thing coming into this race here tonight, Tyler Dittmer leads the points after sitting out last week's race with 1 win, 5 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 8 starts. So definitely the man to beat there is that 34 machine of Tyler Dittmer.
Yes, and Tyler Dittmer obviously took a week off, and he could, because why? He already won a race. So, I mean, he's won a race. He's done well this year. Obviously, he's already locked into the postseason. There's nothing wrong whatsoever in him doing that, and obviously he took advantage of that, and it's all good. So we'll see what the Gore, Virginia driver can do for Highline Racing right now. We're still in the early going of this race, too, here for the Dover Motor Speedway Hoopty Garage 150. Blake Lothy and Nate Maurer, a couple of Chevrolets up in the top 5. Everyone else is Toyotas in the top 5, including Lumpkin, Chu, and Newton. Then you've got 5 Chevrolets in the top 10. Doucette, Miller, Hamilton, Daniels, and Richardson. By the way, Robert Richards, tried to meet him in South Carolina over the weekend. William Tiller, we about got hit by, we did get hit by a storm, and he really wanted to meet me, and I wanted to meet him, but unfortunately we were all in quick weather mode, and then the weather hit. But it's awesome to meet people like Adam Newbert and like him and other folks that we know from the iRacing world in real life. And hopefully our paths will cross again. So still a lot more races left to go, and in this NASRA Sim Racer Hub Truck Series, and I'll tell you what, it's cool to be able to see who will be on top tonight, because like you said, William, this track it's not friendly. I mean, we could possibly see a pretty lengthy green flag run, but honestly, in hindsight, for all of we got a lot of viewers tuning in. This is a track, William, where literally, as we get ready for a restart, you make a slip, and it could be the end of your night for you, no doubt. This track is unforgiving if you hit the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also a track that you can make up a lot of ground as well. Actually, my family has history here. One of my grandfather's wins was here at Dover Downs, and actually came from about last place to first place because there was no caution flags, no stage breaks back then, Wesley. So they just ran a straight 200 laps with no breaks in the action, get an opportunity for a driver to come back up through the field. And I kind of expect that here tonight too, Wesley. It's always those positions about 15 to 20 or even 21st on, but we start to see some of those guys working up through the field that might not qualify too well.
Well, we're ready to see what this field will do as we get back to the Geico restart zone here off of turn number 4. Blake Lothian is the leader. He'll stay to the outside. Nate Maurer and everyone else now watching Lothian pull away as the green flag flies back in the air. 8 laps of 150, and the leaders are off the back stretch.
Yeah, Blake Lothian, the 43, separating now from Ryan Chu in that 51. Nathan Maurer currently in third. You see Justin Lumpkin right there as well. Single file down to about the 5th place off of corner number 4.
1 mile racetrack in length here at Dover Motor Speedway, and obviously looking at Blake Lothian continue to be the man leading the charge. Chu in second, Maurer third. That Toyota split between a couple of Chevrolets in the top 3. Lumpkin, Newton top 5. There goes Maurer's machine trying to make a run on Chu. That's for the bridesmaid spot. They work their way again off of turn 4.
And Blake Lothian takes us off of corner number 4. They're still trying to catch that back bumper of the 43 machine, and Blake's had a heck of a season himself behind the wheel of that, but he gets a little high there in the corner. That's going to open up a little bit of an opportunity for the 51 of Brian Chu now. He's going to have a run down into 3 and 4.
Watching now, Maurer down on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to close in on Brian Chu. Also Lumpkin in that purple 18. There's a little door slam there, letting him know he's there. Open the door there, Chu will, the DSR electric machine up the racetrack, up the hill. Here comes Maurer down to the inside. Lumpkin will follow. Brian Chu loses a couple of spots as they work their way up to 24 degrees to banking to 3.
Nat went on board with the 18 machine of Justin Lumpkin. He's right on the back bumper. Nathan Maurer off of corner number 4 here. And Wesley, you touched on it. Next week is our all-star race, but there's only 4 races left after that race to lock yourself into those playoff races. A win and you're in. For a lot of these guys, they're searching for their first win of the season. That would put them in those playoff races.
Watching them work their way off the corner. Blake Lothian, Nate Maurer, Justin Lumpkin, Adam Newton, Joey Doucette, top 5. All of this happening as they work their way into the corner. Now down the back stretch off of that pedestrian bridge. Pedestrian bridge up ahead also in turn number 2 and turn number 3 on the exit. Everybody kind of, for the most part, being kind of civil, if you will. Halfway through stage number 1, 15 laps to go here in the Hoopties garage, 150, and they climb the bank again into 1 and 2.
As we keep an eye on the 51 machine of Brian Chu, he is slipping down the grid here early on. Now he is down to the 7th spot. We just saw him battling for the lead, then 3rd, then 4th, and now is at the tail end of this lead pack here as we come off of corner number 4. Starting to separate, though, from Ryan Chu in the 7th spot and the 8th spot of Robbie Richards now as we cross that start-finish line into 1.
Lothian, Maurer, Lumpkin, Newton, Doucette, top 5. Working now under the final 15 laps in stage number 1. Hello to Jeff Sickles and everybody that's tuned in on the multi-stream, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're checking us out on the YouTube events. Right there is Lothian, obviously. His Chevrolet looks really good as he'll climb the banking back off into quarter number 1 and 2.
Yeah, Blake Lothian seems to be locked in here tonight. Our race leader early on, 17 laps into the Hoopties garage. 150. We're single file all the way down to the 7th position. That is tail ended by Brian Chu in that 51 machine. You're seeing it here tonight. Patience is a virtue down into corners 1 and 2.
Watching them single file down, climbing back up the 24 degrees of banking here at the Dover Motor Speedway. There's on board with Jacob Klinkhart from the tailgate of his truck. Now from the driver cockpit window, the St. Louis, Missouri driver, the number 1. He is in the top 10, in the 9th spot now as the leaders work their way again off of turn number 4, coming back down to the line. Everybody, oh, Klinkhart up into the fence. He slammed the safer barrier, got to the bottom of the racetrack, and still kept on going into 2.
Yeah, he said, hey, how you did into that top side wall. He's going to keep it moving, keeping it grooving down the backstretch right now. The one machine of Jacob Klinkhart, I got to say, is probably one of the most improved drivers this season, really in the mix every single race here. The one machine, watch out for him here down the stretch to get that victory and get himself in those playoffs.
Closing in on 10 laps to go here in stage number 1 of the Hoopties Garage 150. Had that little caution on the start of things. Joey Stires, the pole truck, with issues on the beginning of the opening laps. But other than that, William Tiller, it's been pretty calm, cool, collective, if you will. With 10 to go here in Dover in stage 1.
Yeah, Blake Lothians is feeling as cool as the other side of the pillow right now. Off the corner, though, he is starting to feel a little heat. As you see, Nathan Maurer is going to dig to the inside. No, he'll follow right back behind that tailgate. The 971 machine, you can tell he's fast. He's hungry for a victory here tonight. Justin Lumpkin in the 18 has a courtside seat to what's going to be a battle for the lead into 1 and 2.
Maurer now watching the tailgate of the number 43 Texas Law Book entry of Blake Lothian, the leader. Maurer trying to reel him in for that top spot. They'll climb the 24 degrees of banking here at Dover to turn number 3 on the concrete jungle off of turn number 4. No change for position just yet. Back down to the line. Maurer's going to have to reel him back in again as they go to 1.
Yeah, I've seen this move out of the 971 before. Wesley, you'll see him. He'll just kind of toy with the fact that he could pass the 43. He'll think about it to the inside here down the backstretch, whether he commits to this move. He will commit into 3 and 4. He's to the inside. The 43 of Blake Lothian to the outside. The 43 will close that gap off the corner. Our race leader. Still the 43 machine of Blake Lothian as we make it lap 25 into 1 and 2.
Right now working in on those final 5 laps remaining here. And we'll couple about 6 laps to go actually here in stage number 1. So far, right now, Blake Lothian out in front, Nate Maurer second, Lumpkin to third. They're all single file. They all do-si-do off the corner out of turn number 4 in a conga line, if you will. No one jumping out of line. They'll funnel back out to turn 1 and 2. They'll close in on 5 to go in stage number 1 next time by.
You got to think some of these factors in tonight's race are probably playing in these drivers' minds. With only 4 sets of tires, a 75% fuel capacity, you almost have to be very patient in this race. You could have a very fast truck, Wesley, but if you start pressing things too early, you really use up your equipment and put you in a bad spot the rest of this race. And we kind of see what this pace is going to be like here tonight. Very single file, very paced out. So the opportunities, if you slide down the grid here, are going to be slim to none as Blake Lothian takes us into 3 and 4.
Watching them work their way back off into turn number 3 and 4. They work their way down to the front straightaway. All this happening now with Blake Lothian, the leader. He is the man out in front. Nate Maurer in second. There's the beautiful looking machine for the Wellesley, Massachusetts driver there. The Texas Law Book entry. Down the back stretch, closing into the end of stage number 1. Still a long way to go for 150 laps, 150 miles in the Hoopties Garage 150, but we are about to come to the end of stage 1 at Dover.
Yeah, just a few laps to go here in stage number 1. Boy, this has flown by quick here. Blake Lothian looks to be the man to tame the monster here tonight. And you see it, Wesley, very gapped out for position down the backstretch here into 3 and 4. Blake Lothian's going to get the 2 to go here in stage number 1.
Yeah, 2 laps to go now as they'll work their way down the front stretch here now. Here comes now Lumpkin jumping out of line. He'll try to make a run on Nate Maurer. He's down to the inside. He'll also carry Adam Newton with him. And while all that goes on for the number 2 spot with 3 trucks battling there on the back stretch, looking for 1 to go, Blake Lothian in his own world into 3.
Yeah, he is just in his own world, listening to smooth jazz right now, maybe sipping on some Perrier water because he has no worries at the top of the grid. 1 to go here in stage number 1.
Yeah, the white flag will go up in the air. Well, at least the 1 to go indication will be there this time by the Texas Law Book entry. Chevrolet number 43 from Wellesley, Mass. Works his way to the back stretch into turn number 3. There's a couple of lap trucks up in the way or on the tail end of the lead lap, but I don't think he'll have to worry about them, as here comes now the driver, Blake Lothian, down to the line. He'll cross the stripe and be the Stage 1 winner here in the Hoopties Garage 150. Everyone else will wait for the top 10 to cross the loop. Then the yellow flag will be displayed. It is out now. This is, by the way, the second Serve Pro caution, not counting the original caution when we had an incident on lap number 2. So, of course, Blake Lothian, Justin Lumpkin, Adam Newton, Nate Maurer, Joey Doucette, William Tiller, your top 5, and they get stage points at the end of Stage 1 at Dover.
Absolutely. We already see some movers, though, inside the top 10. Sean Hamilton, Mr. O, Canada's up 3 spots. You see Robbie Richards on the 8th position. He's up 4 spots. Justin White in the 2. He's up 4 spots as well. So a lot of big movers early on in this race.
Yeah, all of that going on again as it just wrapped up a moment ago here in stage number 1. And again, the driver getting it done out of Wellesley, Mass. It's, of course, Blake Lothian, having a phenomenal job here in stage number 1. We're going to reset things. We'll step away and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll try to grab a word with Blake Lothian. They're going to get ready for pit stops, and we'll have more information from the Hoopties Garage 150 when we return from Dover. Hey, welcome back to coverage on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We're under our second Serve Pro caution, and we have got Blake Lothian for Wellesley, Mass, winner of stage number 1 here in the Hoopties Garage 150. Truck's looking good. That Chevrolet up in front. You're taking the race so far.
Oh yeah, this truck is dialed in. I mean, so far, I mean, the race is running way cleaner than I expected, to be 100% honest. With about 40 trucks on track, I was expecting a caution-filled stage number 1, and surprisingly, it's been quite clean. I'm pretty happy about it.
Well, everything's looking good for you, man. Obviously, you just had to come in and make pit stops, and you kind of are still right there in the top 2. What's your take of what you got to do here? Obviously, it's stage 2 is a little bit longer, 45 laps instead of obviously 30. You know, what's the strategy to stay here, to be here at the end to win this race, Blake?
Yeah, I can't give up too much of my strategy here. I know all the competitors listen along, but I feel like track position is going to be extremely important throughout this entire race. I don't want to be back in the hornet's nest at all one bit. So it's going to be trying to keep track position all night long. So we'll see how that plays out.
I got to ask you a question. Is that a half moon with sunglasses on the roof or on the hood of the truck there? It kind of reminds me of the old McDonald's midnight promo they used to have back in the day.
If you can, try to get a tight shell on it. There's a few details on that moon.
You got to describe it to us. You got to paint a picture for us on radio.
It looks just like me. There's sunglasses, there's a little goatee on it. It looks just like me. I got my friend for my birthday designed a decal for me, and this is what it is. And I'm more than happy to run this every race.
You need to make a T-shirt line with this now.
I know, but I gotta get approval from McDonald's. It's their logo.
That's it. I had a feeling, brother.
Gotta
There you
get
go.
that McDonald's sponsorship.
That's it. Go get them in stage number 2, my friend. Stick with it, Motorsports.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Wellesley, Massachusetts driver Blake Lothian, William Tiller, stage 1 winner. I'm digging the smiling half moon face. I didn't know it was Blake Lothian's face, though.
Yeah, no, he is that type of personality on the racetrack. Never seems to be in any trouble with any of the drivers. Very clean driver out there, but very competitive nonetheless. That 43 looks very strong here tonight.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready now for stage number 2. They've already made a couple of laps, obviously, under the yellow flag, but we're ready now for the official green flag in stage number 2. Here for the Hoopties Garage 150, Brian Chu, Blake Lothian, as we just mentioned, the stage 1 winner on the front row. Green flag goes in the air. You've got Newbern and Hamilton and Maurer, your first 5. Then it's going to be Lumpkin, Richards, Doucette, Clinkhart, and White as they'll send them off into turn number 1 and 2.
Yeah, 51 machine of Brian Chu there tried the short track restart, went as low as he could on that restart down into 1 and 2. It cost him dearly though, as a 43 machine of Blake Lothian chose that high side. He'll take us off for corner number 4 as our race leader. Now we have a new bridesmaid. That's Adam Newton in that 82 machine into 1 and 2.
Back off into the corner, Blake Lothian quickly back to the lead. Adam Newton in the number 2 spot, Sean Hamilton to 3rd. Maurer, Lumpkin, there you see him for a moment. They were trying to get 2 by 2. They are now in the top 10, and now they are up in the front, and we got a caution. Yellow flag out over the speedway just as fast as we got going again. Chris Blanchard's truck spun down to the bottom of the apron of the racetrack in the Blanchard's number 9. Yellow flag out, William Tiller for the 3rd time at Dover on lap 37.
Yeah, and that just looks a little crispy to me coming off the corner number 2 right there. So the 9 machine of Chris Blanchard is going to be on the inside. He's going to have the 11 of Derek Kilgore up there on the top side of the racetrack, and you'll see right there if racing lines are crossed over at all. Nope, that's just good old iRacing right there. Thought there was contact, but when there was no contact, unfortunately for the 9 machine of Chris Blanchard, that's going to cost him dearly in this race. The 11 of Derek Kilgore might be able to keep it rolling, keep it moving. You see the 24 machine of Brady LaBeouf right there as well. Trying to see who that was that made contact with the 9 of Chris Blanchard down on the inside of the apron there. Man, that's early on here, Wesley. Already cautions flying.
Yeah, what heartbreak there for those drivers. Again, what just happened. We'll watch it again one more time from another angle. I want to say it's 29 of Chris Kynes that might have got a piece of that. All of this happening under the yellow flag again. Sorry, our broadcast monitor is blurry. We're kind of having a little problem seeing it, but we do know Blanchard. And, man, Brady LaBeouf barely weaseled by there, just barely made it through. The Homestead Miami winner, obviously, from last Monday night. And we're looking at now, I believe, from another angle, as we're still under caution presented by Serve Pro. And I think we're going to look at this from the angle from the back stretch coming from the turn 3. Well, there's Kilgore. Kilgore, of course, and Blanchard get together. Blanchard spins to the bottom of the banking. Here you see now the 71 of Hartwig. He got tagged in there. That's the 71, of course, involved. And I thought it was going to be, of course, Brady LaBeouf weaseled by there, as I said. Nice terminology. And then Zach Hartwig, nowhere to go. We're on board now with a 71. And look at this, just a quick move.
Whoa.
Thought he could clear him. Thought he could go where LaBeouf went. And then all of a sudden, nowhere to go. And he's caught up in it out there, William.
And that's unfortunate for the 71 there. We're starting to move up the grid just a little bit. Was in a hornet's nest of drivers back there. But I was starting to see that sort of percolate here the last couple of laps, Wesley. These drivers get very antsy on these restarts, get 3 wide. They get bunched up off the corner. And on a narrow racetrack like Dover here, we don't have the wide banking. It's very narrow when you come off that corner, almost that tunnel effect there where everything funnels just in together there off that corner. It's going to cause accidents like that, but unfortunately for that particular incident, that just looked like an iRacing incident, and we all know about those.
Blake Lothian right now, the leader Adam Newton now to second spot. Sean Hamilton third. Nate Maurer fourth. Justin Lumpkin is your top five. By the way, this is another yellow flag presented by Serve Pro. Restoring homes affected by fire, water, mold, or hurricanes like it never even happened. Don't stress about the mess. Contact Serve Pro today at servepro.com. And a little segue to that, William Tiller. Serve Pro was on the number 18 Bandolero of Brexton Bush, who picked up the win at Wake County Speedway in the U.S. Legend Car iNix Bandoleros on last Friday night. I had the privilege to call that race in the booth, and Kyle Busch was there before he got ready to go to Richmond. And Serve Pro, big sponsor there for that young man, and I thought that was really cool. Matter of fact, one of the things me and the young Braxton was talking about or during the afternoon was, you know, Serve Pro does some real racing sponsorships, and obviously, William, they do stuff with iRacing, like being our Serve Pro caution sponsor. Pretty cool.
Absolutely. You were also in attendance to see Kyle Busch winning the Florida Panthers car in the SRX series.
I did. Believe it or not, buddy, I thought about you, you know, because I know you're a Florida Panthers fan. So, obviously, pretty cool for the NHL and SRX to step up those entities and put Kyle Busch in the car. He was the fourth driver since SRX to win in his inaugural debut. Obviously, Denny Hamlin did it at Stafford a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, to have Kyle Busch win on Thursday night and then Braxton Busch win on Friday night, pretty darn cool. And I will tell you this, William Tiller, NASCAR Productions and Race Hub was at both tracks for the events, and they are working on a very cool video documentary to air on Race Hub sometime in August about Braxton and Kyle, the Busch boys, the Busch brothers, father, son, winning, of course, you know, over the weekend. So that's really cool. We're ready to go back to green. Serve Pro caution is done. Third one in the books. We go back to the Geico restart zone, and we are back to racing again. Blake Lothian has been in a class of his own right now. You got to wonder, though, William, is things going to pick up and intensify as we quickly work towards lap 50 on the back straightaway?
Yeah, we're going to ride on board with Jacob Klinkart, the One Machine Racing out of St. Louis right here. And right now, that One Machine finds himself just inside the top 10 in the 8th spot. And you see already that lead pack is separating from the rest of the pack. But you see that Hornet's Nest behind this One Machine here, Wesley, as we come off of the corner. It's going to get very jumbled up. It's going to funnel here down the backstretch.
They're going to watch him funnel down the backstretch under the pedestrian bridge into turn number 3. And there goes Klinkart. Remember, Klinkart one time out got up under the wall, and he saved himself. Right now, well, look at him rocking Metallica on that truck, man. Give me fuel, give me fire, as he runs down Doucette. That goes on back into the corner into 1.
Ooh, big checkup into the corner right there. The 18 of Justin Lumpkin, the 16 of Joey Doucette, and the One Machine. As we were riding on board there with Jacob Klinkart, he almost had to hit the brakes there. There's a large checkup out of the 18 machine. Now he's going to get right back to work here, thinking about going to the inside of the 89 of Sean Hamilton. This is a battle for the 5th spot right now, but all this battling going on still. Blake Lothian takes us down the backstretch.
Blake Lothian, again, the man that leads the way here at the Monster Mile, Dover Motor Speedway, down the bank and into corner number 3 and 4, 24 degrees of banking, but they stay hugged right there to the bottom of the racetrack. Now back on the concrete flat front straightaway. Little smoke there for just a second from some contact, but they still hold it together. Look at now the driver of the 18, Lumpkin trying to battle our friend of the north, Hamilton. Now that goes on again, and they're trying to go too wide off the backstretch.
And what I'm noticing here into 3 and 4, Wesley, early on in this race, drivers are preferring to take these corners in different avenues. You see some drivers hitting the brakes on the apex, some drivers letting off into the corner here, some drivers going high side, low side. And what that's causing is right there, that's a great shot, but we're under caution here. But that was a great shot right there for the 16 of Joey Doucette. You know, he takes these corners differently here. It's going to cause some cautions. We have another caution here on the racetrack. It looks like the 9 machine of Chris Blanchard.
Yeah, problems for Chris Blanchard and the 9 machine and some other drivers. And let's take a look at what happened here. Is you see some contact. There you see a lot of trucks getting sideways. Brian Chu, the 19, also getting loose as they work down the back stretch. Looks like that was Brian Chu and the 19 of Jonathan Pugh. All of this happening, correction, down the front straightaway. It's on the front straightaway. You see one truck already slammed up against the wall here. I guess Adam Flieger, our producer, is trying to pinpoint what happened. We've already told you the numbers, the 19 and the 19 machine and the 51. So we're right now seeing what happened between Pugh and Chew. And that's why we're under the yellow flag here. There's Jonathan Pugh on board with him. And William, obviously, look at this, bud. 3 wide in front of him. Looks some contact there off of Chew. On the right side, he tags the left rear. Pugh does, and around goes. These trucks nowhere to go off 4.
And I think here tonight at Dover, even though we're in Dover, Delaware, it looks like LA traffic here on the racetrack. A lot of checking up, a lot of nose-to-tail action here. And for that particular instance there, the 19, he was in the process of checking up there to make sure he can get out of the corner safely. But there's really nowhere to go on this racetrack here. And that contact was inevitable right there off the corner. You see it right there, Wesley. There's really nothing he could do but to go into the back of the 51 of Brian Chew. When you come off that corner with so much speed, you can't bail out at that point.
Yeah, literally all of that just happened, just transpired here. We're going to the yellow flag again one more time. I believe it's our 4th caution. Adam Cantwell, I think, might have possibly got a piece of it or was able to scamper away or was able to miss the accident, if you will, as we go back under the yellow flag again. That's another yellow flag presented by ServPro. Fire and Water, Cleanup and Restoration. ServPro, official caution sponsor of NASRA. Hey, by the way, we are in stage number 2. The winner of stage 2 is presented by Glass Mechanic. Glass Mechanic is a family-owned and operated business founded in 1921 with over 4 generations of family serving the Phoenix area. Contact Mike and Glass Mechanic with all your home window, shower door, and custom glass needs today. With over 100 years of experience, there's no window shopping needed. Contact the Glass Mechanic on Instagram at yourglassmechanic.com. So the question is, William, who will be joining these other drivers as you see now the Season 2 point standings leading up to tonight's event? Most recent winner, Brady LaBeouf. And by the way, William, you actually mentioned Brady LaBeouf had to fight and claw his way last year to make it into those final spots to the playoffs. Don't have to do it right now before the All-Star break. He's already locked in.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these drivers on this list, and I'm surprised they're not locked in. I'm looking at the likes of Adam Newton, who's ran top 5, top 10 most of these races. Hunter Parsons, I'm looking at Kerry Tribune, Sean Hamilton, Joey Doucette, the Joker, is not locked in yet. And of course, last year's champion Adam Newbert right there has been taking some time off. We hope to see him back behind the wheel of that 4 machine here soon, get himself locked into these playoff races. So a lot of these names here, a lot of surprises on this board so far in this race.
Watching him right there, of course, there's your power rankings. And remember, you got a guy like Tyler Dittmer that literally won the race earlier in the year. William, he took off last week. He had other obligations, family things going on. He took off, and he's allowed to because he could literally miss the rest of the year if he wanted to do so, and he still goes into the postseason.
Absolutely, but we saw this last year with Joey Doucette in our Friday night series, where he had a really incredible regular season. Even Adam Newbert here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series won multiple races during the season, actually gained the moniker as the money man there. You know, once you get into those playoff races, it's a whole different ball game, Wesley. You got to make sure you win, you have good finishes to advance to that next round. It's almost like March Madness. You could be the number 1 seed, but that 16 seed knocks you out in the first round. Your championship hopes are over.
I want to send a shout out to a friend, Rachel Pierce, obviously multitasking. She is taking a coaching class to prepare for the upcoming fall cheerleading season and listening and watching NASRA racing coverage. Rachel, of course, in North Carolina. Pace truck drops onto the pit lane. That will wrap up another ServPro caution. We're ready to bring him back to green flag here in stage number 2 with about 25 laps to go. Lothian, Newton, Richards, Maurer, Lumpkin top 5. Green flag goes back in the air. They'll send him off back into corner number 1 and 2. What was going to be a conga line quickly becomes a do-si-do up the bank and in the corner.
Yeah, do-si-do in here. No patience here on these restarts. So Blake Lothian takes us into 3 and 4 as we're thundering down the backstretch here at the Monster Mile.
Working into turn number 3 off of turn number 4, ready under 25 laps to go. Lothian from Wellesley Mass is leading the way for swim. You've got a driver, Adam Newton, in second, Nate Maurer third, Robert Richards, of course, right there in that gaggle of traffic down the backstretch going to 3.
Yeah, I don't want to be in that hornet's nest right there off of corner number 2. You see how crazy it gets right now. We're side by side for position here. Justin Lumpkin's under fire there on the inside lane as we're 1, 2, 3 into 1 and 2 right now. Joey Doucette, the Joker's in the mix right there with Steve Barnett. A lot of moving and shaking inside that top 5.
Whole lot of shaking going on, in the words of Jerry Lee Lewis, of course, the killer, working his way into turn number 3 and 4. Lothian, Newton, and right now watching the top 3 trucks single file, slamming off for the safer barrier went Barnett. Barnett in front of Doucette. All of this going on as they work back into 2.
Now, you mentioned that 48 machine, Robbie Richards, during this broadcast here. He is currently up 8 spots in the 4th position. He's to the inside of Mr. O Canada himself, the 89 machine of Sean Hamilton. He's going to try to put that nose right in the back bumper of the 971. And Nathan Mowers gets very airtight off of corner number 4. As Blake Logan takes us into 1 and 2.
Under 20 laps to go here now when they come back to the line in stage number 2. There's the Trump entry on the bottom of the racetrack. That's the Robert Richards truck down to the inside. He's got company, though. It's Barnett. It's Lumpkin. They're trying to run after him and trying to take that top 5 spot away as they work their way all 4.
You see that wheel movement as we ride on board the 48 machine. Robbie Richards trying to keep that thing on the inside lane. He keeps seeing that opportunity to get around the 89 right there to the inside. But he's going to watch out, though. Steve Barnett in a 42. He's going to pass him on the top side. Robbie Richards is going to fall a spot into 3 and 4.
Working off of that turn. Back down the front straightaway, crossing under the start-finish line. Everyone is all single file, but for how long? Here comes now Duke Lumpkin. He'll go after Richards again into turn number 2.
As we creep down to the end of the stage here, this is where things get a little testy. It gets a little hot in the cockpit of these trucks right now. There's a 48 machine of Robbie Richards. He might get split by the Joker, the 16 and the 18. Justin Lumpkin as they barely make contact off of 4 right there. The 18 is going to get that momentum, go right in the back bumper of the 48 machine of Robbie Richards. We're still single file all the way down that lead pack off of corner number 2 into 3 and 4.
While all that happened, Doucette was able to scamper back away and clear in front of the machines of Klinkhart and Parsons. Lumpkin was able to still hold on to his spot as they'll work off the corner. Out of turn number 4, down to the start-finish line. It is all single file, no one jumping out of line. The conductor is Blake Lothian on the back straightaway on lap number 60 next time by.
Like Thomas the Tank Engine right now, he is leading the way into 3 and 4, although you see Adam Newton right there trying to inch his way around, trying to create a masterpiece here tonight off the corner right there. The 82's thinking about it. The 971 of Nathan Maurer is waiting his turn. We've seen this, Wesley. He is a late race car driver here. He'll wait his time. He'll take patience around the racetrack, and then he'll pounce when the opportunity arises.
All of this going on now, and again, Lothian still leading the way, closing in again on 15 laps to go here in stage number 2. By the way, who will be that stage 2 winner? It is presented by Glass Mechanic for stage 2. Meanwhile, Lothian holding off Newton and Maurer. That's a 3-truck battle, heading for the lead as they work on a 2.
Yeah, the 42 truck of Steve Barnett, we saw him make contact with the top side wall there. That's going to kill some momentum here. The top 3 trucks are going to separate from the 3rd position. Adam Newton in that 82, Nathan Maurer in the 971 are going to go 1, 2, 3 off the corner. That second pack is led by Sean Hamilton in that 89 machine. He's just going to catch the draft of the 971 to have an opportunity, but he is under fire by the 48 of Robbie Richards, who's trying to creep up into the 4th spot.
At top 3 trucks single file behind them, another 3 trucks starting to have a nice fierce battle with our friend of the north from Canada of Hamilton. Then it's Richards, the South Carolinian, Lumpkin in the Toyota number 18. Doucette trying to reel in that battle. We're closing in on 10 to go in stage 2 at Dover.
10 laps to go in stage number 2 of the Hoopties Garage 150 as our top 3 drivers are separating from the rest of the pack. Adam Newton in that 82 is just biding his time behind the back bumper of the 43 truck of Blake Lothian, who's trying to get the brooms out here tonight, sweep the stages into 1 and 2.
Trying to sweep the stages, if you will, but still a long way to go. It's Lothian, Newton, Maurer, Richards, Hamilton, Lumpkin, Doucette, White, Clinkhart, Parsons. If that was your top 10 on lap 75, that's where the stage points would be. The Trump Winery, number 48 of Richards now, is now into the top 5. He's in 4th, and he's got a battle of holding off a big gaggle of traffic going to turn 1 with 9 to go.
Yeah, we got to spotlight that 18 machine of Justin Lumpkin all race long here, 66 laps into this race. He has battled and clawed his way to stay inside that top 5, top 10 area. Right now, Justin Lumpkin's up 1 spot from the drop of the green flag, but we've seen him all race, bobbing and weaving, inside lane, outside lane, throwing blocks on the racetrack, but he has got to get everything moving to catch our race leader, Blake Lothian. He will take us south the corner.
I understand Michael McKinnon getting us clarified. Thank you, buddy. You have to run 12 of the 14 races for the race, and of course the win to count to go to the playoffs. So, okay, Tyler Dittmer missed a week. He's back this week, so obviously I think he's keeping count of what races he needs, William, to put himself into the run of the playoffs right now. But thank you, Michael McKinnon, for giving us that clarification. Of course, one of the longtime people of NASRA, one of the original founders of NASRA as well. 8 laps to go. It is Lothian the leader. All of this going on back into turn number 3 with Lothian trying to sweep the stages at Dover, but Newton's reeling him in.
And you see right, that shot on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. If you're watching along with us here, it's basically a 2-truck battle now between the 43 truck and the 82 of Adam Newton. Even that gap starting to increase here as we come off the corner. Blake Lothian is just pacing around Dover, Delaware here tonight, taking in the sights and sounds of the Monster Mile as our race leader will take us off the corner.
Lothian, Newton, Maurer. That's the way they are. The top 3 single file. We're closing in now on 5 laps to go in stage number 2 here in the Hoopties Garage 150. Yes, that's a real sponsor. Yes, that's a real business. It's not about Hoopty Mobiles. It's Hoopties Garage. And there you see the machine number 43 leading the way. The Texas Law Blue Entry Blake Lothian Motorsports number 43 Chevrolet. Blake Lothian looked like, William, as we approach 5 to go, he started to pick up some speed and pull away from Newton and Maurer.
Yeah, one thing to notice, though, Wesley, with 5 laps to go here in this stage, our pole sitter, Mr. Joey Stiers, you get knocked down, you get up again. Right now, he has creeped up into the 8th spot. You remember, he had early troubles on lap number 1. He had that 23 truck on the inside lane, smoking there, now creeped up inside the top 10.
Yeah, all of this going on with the laps continuing to tweak down to the end here in stage number 2. It is still Blake Lothian holding on to that spot. He fires off of turn number 4, flashes under the flag stand. 3 laps to go. Lothian looking to sweep the stages here, and the Glass Mechanic Stage 2 winner is in sight in the final laps of the backstretch going to 3.
Yeah, if we could jump on board with that 43 truck of Blake Lothian, we can see the exact lines that he's running here tonight. And you see it right there, Wesley. He's keeping those tires right on that white line, coming off nice and crispy clean. Not even anywhere close to that top side wall. You see it once again into the corner here. He's going to ride the middle. You can tell there's a little tire wear going on with that truck. He'll come off of corner number 2 again. Very, very clean. What an excellent shot here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network.
Yep, laps winding down here as they're approaching the end of stage number 2. 1 more lap to go in stage 2. Blake Lothian, big lead now by 3/4 of a second over Newton and Maurer. Final time into 1.
And Blake Lothian will sweep the stages here tonight in the Hoopties Garage 150. And Wesley, I gotta say, he is a man on a mission. It will be mission impossible for the rest of the field to try to reel him in as he claims stage number 2 in the Hoopties Garage 150.
So Blake Lothian will flash under the flag stand. He will lock up the Glass Mechanic Stage number 2. Adam Newton is 2nd, Nate Maurer 3rd. Robert Richards 4th, Justin White the top 5. Everyone else like Lumpkin, Doucette, Stiers, Hamilton, and Thomas the top 10 at the end of stage number 2. By the way, 10 points to the winner, 1 point for 10th, and that's the way they get their points here. And I'll tell you what, Adam Newton, Hey, William, there you see 23, Joey Stiers. Remember the problems he had earlier in the race? Look at him right back up there in that 23 truck into the top 10. He's in 8th as we'll approach the 3rd and final stage here at Dover forthcoming.
And I can't not mention this fact here, Wesley, as we come to the end of stage number 2. We've talked about him a few times here tonight. Our points leader, Tyler Dittmer, up 18 spots in this race currently. Our hard charger currently in the 12th spot in that 34 machine. We got to watch out for our points leader later on in this race.
So right now, everybody is continuing to still set their sights on the driver of Blake Lothian as they come down to the pit lane. Let's give you again your top 10. Lothian, Newton, and Maurer. Richards, White, Lumpkin, your top 5. Of course, also as everyone else like Doucette, Stiers, Hamilton, all getting stage points. And William Tiller, they are on pit road, which could possibly be the money stop, which I think is going to be doubtful, though, with 75% fuel capacity and a 75 lap stage to the checkered flag on deck. I think we might see green flag pit stops unless they get plagued by another Serve Pro caution.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a very tight window. It's going to be very late green flag pit stops there, as you mentioned, if we don't have that Serve Pro caution flag wave again here down the stretch. As you see, there's almost contact there on pit road. How tight the pit road is here at Dover. And Wesley, if we do have that late race, green flag pit stops, it really throws that Yahtzee reshuffle into the grid. It's whoever can strategize to get down pit road first.
So there you have it. We'll reset everything and we'll take a quick break. Stage 3 of the Hoopties Garage 150 when we return from Dover Motor Speedway. This is the NASRA Sim Racer Hub Truck Series on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Blake Lothian looking to sweep stage 1 and 2 and try to sweep the night for another win here at Dover. It's on there.
We got some people watching tonight.
Yeah, we do.
We're live.
All right, let's bring it to the finish here.
We're live.
Welcome back to coverage on the NASRA 360 Racing Network from Dover Motor Speedway. It's the Hoopties Garage 150. This race again is brought to you by Hoopties Garage. And William, you got a little bit more information about them.
Yeah, Hoopties Garage, as you mentioned, is an actual company here. It's a one-person ran small automotive garage in St. Louis, Missouri. They help with all your car repairs and car needs. They post YouTube videos, so if you're ever wanting to change that oil, change your brakes, all that stuff, we all do it, Wesley. We pull out our phones, we watch those YouTube videos on how to do it. Go check out Hoopties Garage at Hoopties Garage on YouTube or their Facebook page at Facebook/Hoopties Garage today.
And that'll wrap up another Serve Pro caution as well. Glass Mechanic Stage 2 winner, Blake Lothian, Stage 1 winner as well. Can the man from Swim be able to sweep the night here at Dover? Green flag goes in the air. Stage number 3 is underway. They work their way to the back straight away. Lothian has got a gaggle of traffic behind him, and they're reeling him into 1, 3, and 4.
Yeah, Tim Hammond in that 69 machine. You can see what old equipment does for you there. Looks like he has an anchor on those tires. He is sliding quick, fast, in a hurry down the grid, though. Blake Lothian back to work at the top position. You see Joey Stires in the shot now, up inside the top 5. Our pole sitters trying to get back in that penthouse position as we go into 3 and 4.
Climbs to 24 degrees of banking up the hill. It's still going to be Lothian in that top spot. The question is, for how long, though? You got Newton. He's been patiently in the bridesmaid spot almost all night long. Maurer seems to be the podium for 3rd all night long. All of this getting antsy as now Richards and Stires. Remember Stires, yes, up on the front row. Problems in the 23 on lap number 2, went to the back after bringing out a caution, and William Tiller, he has now climbed and fought his way back into the top 4 as they work around Richards to go to 1.
Just like George Washington rode his boat across the Delaware River right now, Joey Stires is trying to row his boat back up to the top of the grid. You see him making quick work of positions. Now Joey Stires inside the top 4. He's going to go to the inside of the 971 machine of Nathan Maurer. He is wasting no time to get back up to the top.
All of it going on as they work their way back off into corner number 1. 24 degrees of banking. Greet these drivers. That's now Stires now throws the block on Maurer. He throws the block on Richards. Pulls away by a truck length, and behind them, look at the storm brewing. This is in the top 15 as they work to 3.
Absolutely. This is the danger zone part of the race right here. A lot of excellent drivers mixed up in this. You see Stephen Thomas. You see Miller right there. You see our points leader, Tyler Dittmer, in that 34 machine. This is the Hornet's Nest. Wesley, this is where these packs get funneled off the corner. It gets very tight as you watch right now on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. Joey Stires is up inside the podium position. Now has his sights set on the 2nd place spot of Adam Newton.
It is Lothian back across the line behind the top 7, all single file from Lothian to Lumpkin. From Hamilton, Morales, Parsons on to Dittmer, you saw the storm brewing. There is a gaggle of traffic, and they are trying to stick it 2 and 3 wide, sometimes more, behind Lumpkin as they work into turn number 3.
We saw the same action take place in our first couple stages of the race, which Blake Lothian swept here. It's the same pace. It's the same thing we've seen all race long. Now we're starting to get a little separation from the top side of the grid here. Very gapped out after about the 6th or 7th spot on the race deck. Justin Lumpkin, though, finds himself in no man's land right in the middle of the lead pack and the 2nd pack there. Wesley, he's got to catch that draft fast.
Back across the line into 1 and 2. I'm really impressed with the Robert Richards ride, up 7 spots. Justin White up 7 spots. And you're watching them start to climb into the top 3. But I will mention this, though, William, massive cloud cover over Dover Motor Speedway as they approach the line on lap number 90.
As Joey Stires just tried a little BOGO action there. He's going to go from 3rd to 1st in a hurry. He's going to calm down for just a second. He's going to get behind the back bumper of Blake Lothian down the backstretch here. Looks like he's got rockets on those Goodyear Eagles in this race because he is locked on that back bumper coming off of corner number 4. He is just waiting for that window of opportunity, and boy, will he just fly through it. But 23 sure is fast here tonight.
Look at Stires. Mention that driver. We mentioned Joey Stires. He is now making a climb to get back to the lead. He will go back to the lead off of turn number 4. Lothian now falls back to 2nd. After a while, if you will, William Tiller. Joey Stires makes a lead change on lap 91.
Yeah, now our battle for the lead is settled. I'm going to jump down to that 10th position. We have Jason Morales right there. He's up 12 spots from the drop of the green flag. Hunter Parsons is in the mix with that 15. He's up 13 spots from the drop of the green flag. But I'll go up to the 7th spot of the 34 machine of Tyler Dittmer. Our points leader is up 23 spots from the drop of the green flag. He is also a man on the mission here tonight.
Man on a mission. Joey Stiers with problems earlier. Now up to the P1 spot. It was not an easy drive for the 23, the black and green 23 back in the dance. Lothian now back to second. Newton third. Now remember though, as we approach 55 laps to go, William, we are also thinking they're gonna have to make a green flag pit stop unless we get a late serve pro caution.
Absolutely, and I don't want to call myself Mystic Mac, but I tend to predict these things. You saw Joey Stiers with the lap number 1 trouble there, went all the way to the tail end of the pack, actually went to pit road, Wesley, throughout all these cautions on the racetrack, the stage breaks, everything. He has put into work to basically go from last to first. Now the 23 machine is separating from the 43. He is looking like Blake Lothian in those first couple of stages. Lap 95 here in the Hoopties Garage 150.
Joey Stiers is the man leading. Look at this now. Lumpkin, Dittmer, Thomas. Wow, look at White now. Trying to battle up on the outside. Morales will now stick his nose on the bottom of the racetrack. All of this working now as we're about to go into triple digits. And what has been, for the most part, William Tiller, a very clean race. We've had some cautions. We've had those yellow flags at times that need to slow things down. But I'm kind of in agreement with Michael McKinnon. Here comes the whammy. But, of course, it's been a really clean race for the most part. And the question is when do we start, going cray-cray here to decide the winner?
I think you're going to start to see that, Wesley, when these drivers push that envelope of that green flag pit stop, because it's in the back of these drivers' minds that they have to pit one more time. It's how far that they can push these trucks to get to that latest point in this race that they can head down pit road. We've seen drivers push it to about 10 to 15 laps to go. What that does, though, Wesley, is those tires start to give way. The gas tank doesn't really become a factor here on the racetrack. Those tires do, though, and how tight we've been racing here tonight. And we have a caution. We have a caution on the racetrack, a big pile up there right off of corner number 4.
Raul Meza, Chris Kynes, Brady LaBeouf. Oh my, big stack up of trucks involved.
Let's check out
Jose Luis Rivera, the 20, and the caution out here. This is kind of what we were talking about. Look at this. Oh, wow. Rivera ran up some other trucks there, more trucks involved, and got another couple of trucks spun on the top right of the screen over there after we show you the 7 truck trying to pull away of Kerry Tribune and William. William, there you go. We jinxed it. There's your caution. Sorry.
Absolutely. And now the question is here, Wesley, we know drivers have to pit. Is this too early of a window? Because we're going to have about 50 laps to go. And now, mind you, we ran 30 in stage number 1 and around 45 in stage number 2. Is this going to be enough of a window for these drivers to head down pit road now? Is it going to be enough to the finish?
So we have, let's see here. We're coming up on lap 100, obviously, right? So that 75%, you know what? If it's me, William, I would say everybody come to pit road, and I think you could go to the distance. I would say that. I'm thinking up in my head, obviously, fuel window is normally between 60 to 65 laps. Or 65 to 75 laps on fuel if it was 100% fuel. I'm thinking you could probably go between 45 to 50. If it's me, you're going to have a couple more laps in a caution. Going slow saves fuel. I would say, yes, come down to pit road. If I was Joey Stiers, if I was Lothian, if I was Newton, I'd bring everybody onto pit road because it's going to be monkey see, monkey do. If the leaders come to the pits, you can bet your bottom dollar everyone else is going to come to the pit lane as well. Because honestly, if you look at the score and telemetry, William, everybody last pitted on lap 77.
And we'll check it out here. We'll get all those answers to that question as we come off of corner number 4 here. The pace truck leads us on the serve pro caution flag here. And we'll see who elects to head down pit road. See if the whole field heads down there. Wesley will check it out here to see who does. It doesn't seem like anybody's heading down just yet. We see a few trucks there.
Wow.
And it looks like Nathan Maurer is going to head. No, that looks like...
I'm surprised. I am so surprised right now,
Yeah.
unless they think that there's going to, well, here comes Derek Kilgore. He'll drop
trucks.
onto the pit lane. Adam Cantwell will drop onto the pit lane. But these are drivers that are already in the back. 33 on pit road, obviously. Let's see here. 33, Jeffrey Johnson Jr. on pit road. 69, a Tim Hammond on pit road. These are guys that are multiple, that are at least a lap down or more that are pitting. So I'm surprised, William, that none of these other guys in the front pitted.
It is surprising, though, Wesley, but I think you did the math there, and I think some of these drivers did the math as well. That's going to put you around the 45-lap mark, about 5 laps short of that window to complete this race. So for a lot of these drivers, I feel like if you don't head down pit road now, Wesley, you're going to see it in at least the next 5 to 8 laps. The entire field will head down pit road during green flag pit stops.
So nobody behind the pace truck pitting, back marker, or trucks in the back of the pack, obviously deciding to come to the pit lane. But all your leaders, there's Jose Luis Rivera. He's on pit road. I think we just saw Brady LaBeouf pull out of pit lane. He's going to come back onto the racetrack on the 24. Kerry Tribune obviously caught up in the caution, William. He had to pit to fix damage. But other than that, you know, I guess these guys in the front think we're going to get another caution and they're going to pit in.
Absolutely, and reading along with our live chat on our Nazareth 360 Racing Network YouTube page, Mr. Michael McKinnon said everyone's saving a set for that late caution. Only one set left of tire, so you can see where that's going to come into play here. And we invite you to jump in that live chat and shout out your favorite drivers. We'll make sure to call them out here on this broadcast on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network here. And I do want to shout out a member of our Nazareth family here, Wesley, Mr. Hunter Parsons, in that 15 machine. Big news for Mr. Hunter Parsons. He has accepted a job with Joe Gibbs Racing in Charlotte, North Carolina. So huge news for Mr. Hunter Parsons there.
And hey, listen, big news for Joe Gibbs Racing as well. If you did not know or you're not in the know, it was announced maybe about an hour or two ago that Chase Elliott, longtime runner with Hendrick Motorsports, is leaving Hendrick Motorsports at the end of the 2023 season to drive for Joe Gibbs Racing. So a seat opens up at Hendrick. Who will get that spot? We're back in the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air. We are back to racing with 45 to go now here in stage number 3, the Hoopties Garage 150. Battle for the lead with Stires and Lothian, stride for stride to the backstretch in the 3.
As Joey Stires is rocking the Monster Energy colors here tonight, that green and black. He is trying to be a monster at the Monster Mile, coming off of corner number 4, side by side. These two top dogs have been the fastest trucks all night. Joey Stires had to do it the hard way, though, coming from last to first. Although he was our pole sitter, he's up with Blake Lothian, who swept the stages here still. Blake Lothian takes us into the corner.
Lothian back out to the lead again. Question is, for how long? Lothian, Stires, Newton, Maurer, Richards, top 5. Look at this gaggle of traffic ensuing as they climb the banking back to turn number 1.
And you got to think, too, the minds of these drivers, just like Mr. Michael McKinnon here watching along with us here. These drivers are hoping for a late race caution. Don't want to see it just early in this run. Joey Stires, though, is trying to catch up to the 43 truck of Blake Lothian. But you got to account for it right here, Wesley. These tires are starting to get away from these trucks. You're going to see some trucks sliding in these corners.
Watching all this going on into the corner again. There you see Stires trying to reel back in Lothian's machine. Lothian quickly on the restart got the jump on the 23. Newton as well in that Toyota 82. And then you got Maurer, Richards, your top 5. Up 24 spots, William Tiller. How about Tyler Dittmer, the York, Virginia driver, now from South Carolina? And of course, right now, he is climbing in to the top 10. We watch this going on into the corner out of turn number 3.
You see that tire wear starting to take effect of our race leader, Blake Lothian. You saw how close he was running that white line all race long. No! Big wreck on the front stretch as the 5 machine
Wow.
of Jason Morales is going to get turned around on the racetrack. That will bring out that late race caution all these drivers were hoping for. Man, Wesley, everybody thought it was going to happen, and it did.
So the yellow flag will fly. And no, correction, we actually did not go under caution. There is not a Serve Pro caution. We are still under the green flag. Holy cow, I can't believe that.
Yeah, Jason Morales in the 5 was completely turned around there facing the oncoming traffic of the race. No caution flag on the racetrack, though. He must have been able to get that 5 machine away from that traffic here. We stayed green here. I know a lot of the drivers are hoping for a caution. Doesn't happen just yet as Blake Lothian still our race leader.
Watching all of this go on again as they work their way off the corner. Down into the turn. It's going to be Blake Lothian, Joey Stiers. All these guys holding on to their spots. Adam Newton, Nate Maurer hold there as they go back off into the corner. Here we go. And you're seeing Lothian now holding off the likes of all of these other trucks. He's pulling away from them.
He is here, Wesley. He is pulling away, but you got to account for the fact that we're going to go down pit road at some point here late in this race. It hasn't happened just yet for Blake Lothian. Those tires are going to be almost done here as you see him drifting all the way up the racetrack, almost to the highest line you can run here at Dover. As the rest of the pack here, Joey Stiers, Adam Newton right, they're going to run low side things, but you see Blake Lothian is losing speed now, starting to drift back down the racetrack, knowing that 971 is coming.
Lothian and Stiers, Newton, Maurer, Richards. There you see him now, lap number 113 of 150. Ready to bring this one to the finish. There's Newton's truck, and he is now trying to make a run for that P2 position, but there you see Lothian half a second over these guys as they work into 3 and 4 back to the line.
Yeah, Newton keeps thinking about that position. Joey Stiers in the 23, he's going to lock it down in that second spot. Blake Lothian, our race leader, is still separated just a little bit from that 23. You take a shot at Nathan Maurer, the 971 there as well. Adam Newton's in the mix. Robbie Richards right there. Justin White as well, as you might start to see some pit road entries here as you see a few trucks head to the apron here off of 4.
Lothian and Stiers still 1 and 2. We are starting to see also now William green flag pit stops. Drivers are coming down on the pit lane.
Drivers are starting to head down pit road here. Now the question is, when will our leaders head down? They almost thought about it there. You saw how slow they were off of corner number 4 here. It's going to be happening here in the next couple laps as Brian Chu will advance position and they're up to 5th spot. He is back in the mix there after suffering some damage. He's still working in this race here at the Monster Mile as we go down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Blake Lothian has slowed down a lot on the racetrack. Joey Stiers now caught up to that 43 as we cross the start-finish line, make it 118 into corner number 1.
118 of 150 now. Blake Lothian again trying to move around some more lap traffic as now Kerry Tribute to the bottom of the apron. Clears out of the way, lets the leaders have at it. All this going on now as we're approaching 30 laps to go in the Hoopties garage. 150 of the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. Lothian, Newton, Stiers, no change in the top 3. They're actually going back to turn 1. He's got a big lead over those guys.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on pit road for you folks at home watching along with us here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. We've had some early entries head down. Jason Morales, we just saw him in trouble. Jose Luis Rivera headed down as well. Some of these drivers did head down pit road on lap 100, but our top side of the grid right now, Blake Lothian in that 43, Adam Newton in that 82, in our 3rd place position of Joey Stiers. Haven't headed down yet, though. Brian Chu has and Tyler Daniels has. That's why that 51 machine's so fast.
It is Lothian, the leader. Adam Newton in that 2nd spot. All of this going on right now with, of course, Brian Chu, William. Remember, Brian Chu had problems earlier. He now battles Newton for the number 2 spot. He's back in that dance as they work into the corner into 2.
Yeah, he's got those fresh Goodyear Eagles here. And the caution's out. Caution flag is out on the racetrack. There it is. We'll see who's on that top side wall. That looks like Miller there, and that Miller High Life machine. Lance Miller is in the wall. And you see he's going to stay up there on the racetrack as the rest of the pack goes by. And there it is, Wesley. There's our late race Surf Pro caution flag.
Well, we're under the yellow flag again here, and I want to say this is the 6th caution, Surf Pro caution. Brought to you by Surf Pro Fire, Water Cleanup, and Restoration here. Adam Newbert, to answer your question, I read something on Twitter. It looked like it was legit from Hendrick Motorsports about the whole Chase Elliott going to Joe Gibbs Racing. But it's actually taken down now, so it might be hashtag fake news. So, I will tell you that there is rumors, William Tiller, and I will not say that this is fake information. Obviously, FedEx is leaving Joe Gibbs, supposedly leaving Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is leaving Joe Gibbs Racing. There is a seat open for Joe Gibbs Racing, because Denny Hamlin is leaving at the end of the year. However, I will tell you that from reports at Richmond over the weekend is that there is a possibility that FedEx might possibly return to Joe Gibbs in 2024.
Very
so
cool.
I just want to clarify on that. I never want to put out false information, but from some of the sources that I was getting, and then of course I saw something on Twitter like literally an hour before coming on the air, and I saw something that said in regards of Chase Elliott going to Joe Gibbs Racing, leaving Hendrick. But then when I just checked it again, it was gone. So it might have been a hoax. So yeah, they might have got me. So I might, but anyhow, this is the money stop. William Tiller back on track. You're going to see the leaders come down on pit road. You're seeing it now here on lap number 122. They're all pitting. They're ready to go to the finish. We're ready to determine a winner, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. As our entire lead pack headed down pit road there on lap 122, that leaves 2 trucks on the racetrack. That is the 25 machine of Tyler Daniels. Last time he hit it down pit road was lap 100. I don't think he'll have enough to get to the finish. And Mr. Tim Hammond in that 69 machine, last time he hit it down pit road was on lap 48. So watch here on this restart what about a almost 50 to 60 lap difference we'll make on those tires here on this restart. And you know what I'm really watching here? I'm watching Adam Newton, Blake Lothian, Brian Chu on the drop of the green flag to see if they can get that pace going up like if they had the entire race here, Wesley. We might be looking at quite the shootout to end this race.
So we are closing in on 25 to go here in the Hoopties Garage 150. Tyler Daniels is now going to be the man that we're going to show up in the front in the top spot. Tim Hammond is now second, obviously. We'll wait for scoring to update here. I believe these are guys that are in the back. And right now, I'm ready to just see where Adam Newton, Blake Lothian, they'll end up the third and fourth. And we'll get ready to try to set this up for a restart. William, still a long way to go. I know there's only 25 laps to go. I know we're in stage number 3. I know this track is a mile in length and there's 25 miles remaining. But I will tell you this. I'm kind of like Michael McKinnon. I think we just turned the wick up on the intensity here for this race.
Absolutely. As we're about to wrap up another Serve Pro caution, restoring homes affected by fire, water, mold, or hurricanes like it never happened before. Don't stress about the mess. Contact Serve Pro today at servepro.com. And Wesley, I don't think we've seen the last of these Serve Pro caution flags. As you just mentioned, the wick got lit on that candle. I think it's going to be burning down here at the Monster Mile.
All right, let's see how this goes here for the restart. Michael McKinnon is saying, I predict a caution on lap 133. We'll see how that goes. All right, we'll see how it goes with lap 125 on the board. This time by when they come to the line, 25-lap shootout awaits. That'll wrap up another Serve Pro Caution, Fire, Water, Cleanup, and Restoration here for NASRA. Daniels, Hammond on the front row. Newton, Lothian, who have dominated, by the way, the first two stages, now under attack with some new drivers up in front as they climb the banking into one.
As the 69 machine's going to lockjam that top side, Blake Lothian's going to think about getting around him there on the exit of 2. No, he'll follow right back behind the 69 machine as Brian True in that 51 will think to the inside of the 69. Very comfortable on that inside lane. He'll take the inside lane with Nathan Maurer, though, as right now Tyler Daniels still hold it down as our race leader into 1 and 2.
Holding it down back into the corner with Daniels now up in front. You know, we haven't really mentioned a lot with Tyler Daniels, William Tiller, since probably his success in Daytona when he was on the pole for the Daytona opener race. He works up the banking into 4, washes up the racetrack. Newton climbs to the lead, put his truck to the top spot. Chu will follow. Maurer can't get around them as they go back to 1.
Yeah, Newton's getting that separation that he needs to close out this race with 22 laps to go. He'll be all by himself, solo dolo like Kid Cudi into 3 and 4. He'll take a look in his rear view mirror and see Brian Chu in that 51 coming on the inside lane, but he is quite a distance away as we cross that start-finish line into 1 and 2. Still Adam Newton as our race leader.
So it's Adam Newton, the leader. Brian Chu in second spot. Nate Maurer third. Blake Lothian, Tyler Daniels, your top 5. Then it's White, Richard, Stiers, all the way now back in the top 10 with Stephen Thomas and Joey Doucette. They work their way out of the line. Closing in on under 22 to go now. 21 to go. The leaders go back to 1 with Newton up in front.
Yeah, this is the time, Wesley, where you can just get on that gas pedal. You can hit those corners exactly the way you want to. You have no worries the rest of the way here tonight. Your sets of Goodyear Eagles are all used up. That fuel tank is ready to rock and roll. You can whip that thing around the Monster Mile right now as we go into 1 and 2. 20 laps to go in the Hoopties Garage 150.
Newton, Chu, Maurer, Lothian, White, top 5. Everyone single file. They work the back stretch now into the third turn. Newton stays into the middle lane. Here comes now Chu down to the bottom. You've got racing action everywhere. Adam Flieger's going to have a conniption trying to keep up with everything going back to 1.
As the calm before the storm is brewing right now, everybody's single file on the racetrack as Blake Lothian's trying to regain that speed that we saw when he swept stage 1 and stage 2 here tonight in the Hoopties Garage 150. He's stuck behind the 971 of Nathan Maurer, who's also been a top dog in this race, but it's still Adam Newton as our race leader as we're going to make it 19 laps to go here tonight.
Maurer right there. Behind Maurer is Lothian. Lothian trying to reel back in the 971. Couple of Toyotas up in front with Adam Newton and Brian Chu. And now you see 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th going at it up into turn number 1. Now under 20 laps to go.
20 laps to go here tonight, and looking at our scoring here, Wesley, we're seeing some of the fastest lap times of the night. We're seeing 23.4s, 23.2s, 23.2 by our race leader of Adam Newton as well. These guys are flying around the Monster Mile. They're trying to tame the beast here tonight as Adam Newton, still our race leader. Brian Chu trying to do everything he can, that DSR electric machine, to get into the mix as well. The huge run off of corner number 2. He'll use that lap car as a slingshot, try to get a run on Adam Newton off of 4.
Slingshot engaged, if you will, right now. Adam Newton up in that top spot, holding onto that line. He leads the way. Brian Chu, Nate Maurer, 1, 2, and 3. You've got Lothian, you got White, you got Stiers. All this going on now, single file, closing in on 15 laps to go here at Dover as they cross the start-finish line.
14 laps to go here, Wesley. This is the money time. This is where you want to lock in your playoff spot for the 82 machine of Adam Newton, who's had a fantastic season. thus far. Brian Chu in that 51 would like a win here as well. We're checking out the 26 machine of Cody Knott here in this race. Our hard charger currently racing out of Madeira, California. The 26 looking good here tonight. And we'll see he is up a bunch of spots, up 20 spots from the drop of the green flag.
Drop of the green. Look at Cody Knott. Looking really, really strong in that Pulse Poppers entry. We just saw him trying to make a decent finish for his 26. He's been kind of quiet all night, as you mentioned, lying on the weeds. And all right, well, Michael McKinnon, you lost that one. You said that there was going to be a caution on lap 133. It ain't happened yet. 12 laps to go. Adam Newton is the leader. Look at this, though. It's White. Battles with Lothian. This is going on for 4th and 5th, going off into turn number 4. Down to the line, and 11 laps to go when they come to the line into turn number 1.
Whoa, and you see this pack right here, very feisty. This is that dog pack that I like to talk about here. You got the 2 of Justin White, the 43 of Blake Lothian. Joey Stiers is in this mix. Robbie Richards in that 48. They're all hungry to try to get back up to the top of the grid, especially the 23 and the 43 who were running 1-2 before that stage break, before those caution flags began to fly here late in this race. They are stuck behind some traffic right now as Brian Chu is occupying that second spot. And you see Adam Newton on that shot. He is all by himself into 3 and 4.
There you see the leaders. There's Newton up in front. Adam Newton, the 82 machine. Brian Chu at a second. We're single digits now here in the Hoopties Garage 150 William Tiller. And right now, I am so impressed with the job these guys are doing here on the concrete jungle here at Dover. Still holding them off one by one. Adam Newton, when he needed to the most, powers to the top spot. He's now got Brian Chu, Nate Maurer, and believe it or not, Blake Lothian is free falling, if you will, William, with 8 to go here at Dover.
Yeah, and this is just an indication of how fast this 82 machine is. Just barely cracked into the 24s of lap time. Second place position, 24.2, 24.2 for third. So right now, Adam Newton is still putting forth awesome lap times here late in this race with 7 laps to go. Again, just ran a much faster lap than our second place position of Brian Chu. Looks to be checking out here tonight in the Hoopties Garage 150. No monsters can scare him. That scare meter is not jumping up. No Sullys are scaring him here tonight. Looks to be taming the beast with 6 laps to go, but there's a caution. Caution flag. Forget everything I just said, Wesley. We're going to rack him back up. Boy, we couldn't ask for more here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network.
Caution out over the Speedway here, and this changes everything. Unless you're up in the front, because you're crazy if you come to the pit lane. I don't see it happening. Looks like Raul Meza got into the 15 machine there in the corner, and that's Hunter Parsons, our friend that just got announced of working for Joe Gibbs Racing.
And that's just that. I think that's just. That's going to be tough. That's going to be definitely a pit road conversation, Wesley, once this race is over. But with 7 laps to go, you're really just racing for position. You're trying to better your finish in this race. You might not have the truck to win, but I could see where things could get a little feisty there, battling for a top 10.
Yellow flag is out. Adam Newton is the man leading the way, the DSR Electric number 82. He's got a teammate behind him, DSR Electric on the 51 of Brian Chu. They're 1 and 2, couple of Toyotas. Then Nate Maurer is in third. Justin White in the number 4 spot. Joey Stiers, by the way, back into the top 5. That's the way it stands. The Mackinac, Illinois driver riding on board with him right now. There's Robert Richards from South Carolina. Gaffney, South Carolina, I guess I'd probably say, because he was at the Cherokee Speedway on Saturday night. And we will, William Tiller, try to sort this out. Remember, we're still in the scheduled distance, and there are 3 opportunities, 3 attempts for overtime if need be.
Absolutely here, Wesley. And if we could take the time, though, I would love to thank our series sponsor here, SimRacerHub.com. SimRacer Hub is the home for iRacing League scoring, and you see incredible detail on there, Wesley, from race wins to your last wins. You can search back years, you can search back certain tracks, you can follow all the NASRA racing information on there as well. Check out all your favorite drivers' stats on there. So we invite you to go check them out at SimRacerHub.com and make sure you have a record of all those race wins.
That's exactly right. And of course, big thanks to NASRA. Follow NASRA Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, don't forget about the Hot Lap podcast Wednesday nights. I think that's now Thursdays, I believe. Not Wednesdays. It's Thursdays. The Hot Lap podcast is on Thursdays. And then, of course, the Cops Trucks Series, the NASRA Cops Truck Series, for the longest time known as the Triple M Pulling Series, is now Cops. And, of course, we appreciate them jumping on board and still ready to go back to racing. 4 laps to go. We're still, by the way, in the regular distance of the race. Lap, oh, come on, Hale, get move. Let's see here as we try to get the scoreboard to move here for me. Lap number 147 when they come to the line. And remember, William, we are still in the regular scheduled distance. So if they tear them up, there is a chance for a restart. By the way, Adam Newbert, you called me out about fake news. Where the heck are you at? The defending series champion, Adam Newbert from Toccoa, Georgia, William. He's not even racing tonight. Like, he's in the chat box, but why is he not racing?
I think, Wesley, to speak about our defending champion there, the Ford machine, there's some off-the-track issues that we all deal with, and I think for right now, I think Adam Newbert in that Ford machine just taking some time away from the racetrack, and I think he's itching to get back, and I'm sure we're going to see him back here very soon in this series, and I think he's right on that playoff cut line, so if he can get back behind the wheel of that Ford machine in his last 4 races of the season, I think we can see him back in that playoff mix.
Well, remember what Michael McKinnon said, though. You got to still run 12 of the 14 races and, man, get back in the high horse. Whatever personal problems you're dealing with, prayers and thoughts going out to you. You know my number if you ever need to reach out to me. I'm a friend, and I didn't know that. My apologies, man. I'm sorry about that. So we'll get ready to try to re-go one more time here at Dover. Miles the Munster is chomping them up as we approach the finish of this thing here. This will be green, white checker when they come back to the restart zone. By the way, we're still in the scheduled distance. Caution comes out. We're going to overtime. Newton on the gas. Powers away from everybody. It is the regular distance, and he's off into turn number 1 with 2 to go.
Yeah, not the greatest restart out of the 51 machine of Brian Chu there. Got checked up on the inside. That's going to cause a lockjam for the rest of the field as the 82 of Adam Newton will take us into 3 and 4. And it looks like he will take that Darren's nail gun repair. White flag, Wesley, as they come to you.
It is official, coming to the line. Darren Snail Gun Repair, white flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. Adam Newton climbing into turn number 1 and 2. The DSR electric Toyota. He's got his teammate flanked behind him of Brian Chu. He works the backstretch. No one in sight. He's looking for the checkers out of turn number 3 and 4.
That DSR electric machine sure is electric here tonight. He'll put that Hoopty in victory lane here in the Hoopties garage. 150 as Adam Newton in that 82 machine is our race winner.
No worries about overtime or extra, green-white checkers if need be. In the race, stage 3 done on the scheduled distance, and Adam Newton picks up the win. He's got his teammate Brian Chu right behind him. There you see Justin White celebrating with him. The celebration is on for Adam Newton. And I believe, William, this is his first win on the series this year. He just punched his ticket into the playoffs as we approach the All-Star break at Eldora next week.
Absolutely, and these are the things that we were looking for coming into this race. The last time we saw this 82 machine in victory lane was in dual race number 1 during Speed Weeks. Hasn't been able to win during the regular season, and what a time to get it done a week before the All-Star break, before we go dirt track racing next week. The 82 is officially in those playoffs.
Yes, look at Adam Newton, and he is going to celebrate and tear it down to the DSR Electric Sim Racer Hub Toyota here for the NASRA Sim Racer Hub Truck Series. By the way, Eldora, next week, obviously, on the dirt, all-star race, non-points event. But, man, I hope everybody joins us, whether you're watching on the NASRA 360 Racing Network or if you are a competitor. I think they got a lot of cool things planned. I think it's going to be awesome. And then, William Tiller, you better get serious because you got 4 weeks left to the run to the playoffs to make that Sweet 20.
Absolutely, but the night does belong to the DSR Electric entry of the 82 machine of Adam Newton. He is up 7 spots from the drop of the green flag, so definitely had to put some work in here tonight. He beats out Blake Lothian in that 43, who swept the stages. Also, Joey Stires in that 23 with a huge run to get back up into the mix, Wesley. But it is the 82 machine of Adam Newton who wins the Hoopties Garage 150.
So let's take a look at the results here tonight in the Hoopties Garage 150 at Dover. Adam Newton tames Miles the Munster and, if you will, Blake Lothian. Lothian went free fall and down to the end of the scoring pylon at the end of stage number 3 here at Dover. Brian Chu will go second. That's his teammate, of course, Privateer. And then Swick, JGR, Sick With It Motorsports. Nate Maurer and Simbox Motorsports with Justin White right there, teammates in the top 5. Joey Stires for Rev Racing will get a top 5 deal. Then you got Robert Richards, Blake Lothian, and Justin Lumpkin right there for Swim, 7th and 8th. Justin Lumpkin again 8th. Jacob Klinkhart is 9th. William Tiller. Stephen Thomas will finish in the 10th spot. You got Hamilton, Doucette, Dittmer with a quiet race tonight for the Lizard Works Racing points leader. Steve Barnett, Derek Kilgore, Cody Nutt with a solid top 20. Ed Osborne along with Hunter Parsons here this evening at Dover, the top 18.
Yeah, we look past the top 18. Jeffrey Johnson Jr., a rookie here in the series. Good job to try to get that top 20 finish here tonight. He does just that, finishing 19th. Zach Hartwick finishes in the 20th spot. Brandon Bullock in that 17 truck, we saw early troubles out of him, was still able to get a 21st position finish out of tonight's race in that 17 truck. Jonathan Pugh, we saw him with early troubles as well, finishes 22nd. Tim Hammond in that 69 machine, 23rd. Lance Miller, we just saw him one of those late race cautions. They're in the wall. Finishes 24th here tonight. Chris Blanchard in that 9 also had some issues here. Finishes 25th. Raul Meza, 26th. Chris Kynes, 27th. Tyler Daniels, 28th. Jose Luis Rivera is 29th. And rounding out our top 30 here tonight is Kerry Tribune in that 7.
Broadfoot, LaBeouf, Hunter, Hess, Morales, Hagan, all these drivers in the 36th spot. Of course, Adam Cantwell, James Morris, and the Donnie Lyons entry unable to start the race. TJ Moore obviously is the race director for NASRA, along with Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott, as well as Adam Flieger on production. Coming up, we'll take a break. When we come back, top 3 podium interviews. It's going to be good to hear from Adam Newton, Brian Chu, Nate Maurer will get their thoughts. We'll get you previewed for the All-Star race next Monday night at Eldora on the dirt, the Big E. You don't want to miss that. We'll have it for you. We'll have all the details. William and I will be back from Dover in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. What a great race. Adam Newton winner tonight. He tames Miles the Munster and all the competitors of the NASRA Sim Racer Hub Truck Series. We'll wrap things up with podium interview. Welcome back to the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Of course, I'm Wesley Outland. William Tiller is alongside. Adam Flieger did a great job for the Hoopties Garage 150. And we'll grab now our third place man real quickly and get his thoughts. The driver of the number 971, Nate Maurer. Nate Maurer, we'll grab him on the podium. Nate, pretty compelling race dominated by Swims, Blake Lothian. Things changed though in stage number 3. Where do you feel the factors of the race changed? But amongst that, obviously Lothian fell back. You guys still kind of hang into the top 3. Let's be honest, the Redneck Nation number 971 was up in the top 3 most of this race. Are you happy with a third place podium tonight at Dover?
Yes, very happy. Threw one away last week. I think we raced Talladega the week before. I was there at the end, got wrecked. Yeah, just happy to finally get a podium finish here. I mean, there's no doubt Blake was start of the show. I don't know what happened to him there this last pit stop. I don't know if he took the minimum amount of fuel there to where he just had enough to make it to the end. I feel like that always throws the balance off in the truck. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because I had all my teammates there to kind of gang up on him. I tried passing him there, the first stage, and he was pinching me down a little bit, and I didn't want to wreck him, and I kind of burnt my tires trying to get around him, so I just kind of settled back into where I kind of belonged, and just kind of rode around there for the rest of the race.
Gotta ask you this question. We're coming into the All-Star break now next week for the All-Star race at Eldora on the dirt. Then you got 4 weeks left. Nate, is there pressure to try to get a win to go to the playoffs, or you kind of content? Well, actually, I think you've got to win early in the season. You're just kind of going on a slump where you haven't won in a while, right?
Going through a pretty big family, personal change here in my life right now. That's kind of why I got into a slump. But tonight is finally back on the right road here personally. So tonight with a P3, or hopefully everything's moving in the right direction to keep getting hot again. We'll see what happens. You don't want to get hot right now. You want to get hot in that later half of the playoffs. So hopefully that's when we really get hot.
Yeah, remember the playoff stretch begins in 4 weeks or 5 weeks after the All-Star race next week. And if you're one of those drivers that are outside the playoff window in the Sweet 20 or the Fast 20, you've got to do something and make some desperation moves. And I final question, segue this into your sponsors, Nate Maurer. Do you feel like we're going to see the intensity pick up for those final 4 races, especially after the All-Star race at Eldora?
Oh yeah. I don't even know what the final 4 races are. I kind of hope there's Super Speedway in there, but I don't know.
To help you, they are Vegas, Lucas Oil, Speedway, Canadian Tire, and Daytona.
Okay, so yeah, I mean just like real life, that final regular season race being Daytona, there's always you're gonna have one of them guys that are usually finish 15th beyond back, win that race, and hopefully get themselves locked in the playoffs if they got enough points, and that's the kind of stuff I love. It's going to get intense. You're going to hear people yelling at each other over the radio, the last couple races, because they're fighting for every point, and it's going to be it's going to be awesome to watch.
All right, brother. On to the next one. Thank your sponsors. We'll see you at the All-Star race at Eldora next week.
Yeah, thanks. Shout out to all you guys up in the booth. And shout out to Redneck Nation here for sponsoring me. So you guys have a good night. Maybe I'll see you next week for the All-Star race.
There you go. There's the thoughts of the driver again, Nate Maurer. He will, again, settle for the number 3 position when it's all said and done. Teammates or friends close to the matter over 1 and 2. We got now William Tiller. He's standing by with the runner-up of the race out of Fort Myers, Florida, with another Floridian, Brian Chu.
Yeah, I love that University of Miami logo on the side of that machine. Just now noticed that, Brian, but boy, you use some of that hurricane energy here tonight. An eventful race, still finishing inside the podium.
Yeah, it's all about the U, William. You know what it's all about. But yeah, I was a little worried because after that first stage, I did not take the tires, and everybody behind me took the tires, and I knew it could work out for me toward the end of the race if I could get to the end of the race, if I can keep an extra set. I did get a little spin out there, fixed her up, and just fortunately had those 2 sets left over, and I'm really disappointed that caution came out with, I don't know, about 15 to go or whatever, because I think I had them. But fortunately, I still had that extra set left in the pits, and put on the force rest rubbers, and was able to get second place finish. So just happy about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that spin there. You just mentioned it, that it's sort of the middle part of the race. You had that spin. What is it about Dover where it allows drivers? We saw it about Joey Styres. They're a pole sitter, went from the back end of the pack all the way up inside the top three. Yourself as well had some issues in this race. What is it about this monster mile that allows drivers to come back in a race like this?
Well, I mean, fortunately, I didn't hit very hard. I think usually if you hit the front end, no matter what track you are, and if it's going to affect your RPMs, you're in trouble. But the guys are just a little impatient there. I had the old tires, and they took me 3 wide, and we didn't fit. So spun out. Fortunately, I didn't hit too hard. I only had maybe, I think, 30 seconds of repair. So I went ahead and focused on that, fixed that. I still had, like I said, the extra set of tires. So Dover's so bad on the tires that if you have those sets, it's even if you have a little bit of damage, you're definitely going to be quicker. So I think that's where I ended up getting them there toward the end. So sometimes that strategy works out for me, sometimes it doesn't. Tonight, thank God, it worked out for me, and I am proud of the team. We did great tonight. It's been a lot of bad luck this season, so it's really nice to get a podium finish here.
Brian, I think we've lost William Tiller, buddy. I was just going to say,
I thought it was
man.
me for a second.
No,
I
I think it's on his
didn't
end.
like my answer?
I was just going to say again, but I guess I'll segue this into what I asked Nate Bauer. The playoffs are looming. Do you think the intensity is going to pick up? And what's your take of trying to find a win? And, of course, bouncing back after having some bad luck earlier in the race yourself for the 51 Toyota.
Yeah, I mean, Newton was just killing me in the corners, entering the corners. So I just couldn't get him, and it kind of sucks because the wind is right there in front of me, and that's a little frustrating where I can't get up there and get it because I know that'd get me in the playoffs. But I was also thinking in the back of my head, it's been such a rough season with some bad luck that I would take a second place finish. If you would have told me before the race, I would have finished second and be ecstatic about it. So it's definitely going to help me in the points a little bit, and I'm hoping this just changes the luck for my team here, and we can just look forward and maybe possibly get a playoff spot. But I'll keep looking forward to some of these strategy calls that I try to do, and maybe I could pull off a win before that. But we'll just try to keep hammering top 10s if we can.
Absolutely. And Brian, we got to say thank those sponsors before you go. And I just got to say go Canes before we get you off the air here. But Brian, good run here. Second, I think Wesley just touched on it here. It's that momentum you want to build up before those playoff races.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm proud of the team, proud of the swim, my Sick with the Motorsports team, my members, Justin Lumpkin, Stephen Thomas, Adam Newbert, Adam Newton. Congratulations to Adam Newton on the win, by the way. That's long time waiting for him. Kilgore there, and of Jeff Sickles, of course, the team owner there, and Blake Lothian. I learned a lot from him, so really love my guys there at Swim. So thank you guys. Thank you to the sponsors: Millie's Landing, A's Lawn and Landscaping, Darren's Nail Gun Repair, Ladanco, First Pacific Funding, Roofco Group, Spatula's Family Handyman, of course, my main sponsor on my truck, DSR Electric, on that University of Miami Colors truck. So happy for those guys, happy for the sponsors, happy for my team, and we'll try to keep going forward.
Absolutely. Well, that was a driver, the 51 machine of Brian Chu, coming home second here tonight. But Wesley, I believe you're catching up with another DSR electric machine. That's the 82 of Adam Newton, who wins the Hoopties Garage 150.
Well, Adam, you heard Brian Chu say he was ecstatic. If it wasn't him in victory lane, he was glad it was you. Finally in victory lane for the 82. What's your take of what's going through your mind here? And at least somehow, some way, you punch your ticket into the playoffs if you continue to get those 12 races needed for the regular season. Congrats.
Yeah, man. It was a good team effort tonight, and I'm just glad I finally had a clean race where I didn't have to deal with no wrecks, no nothing.
I'll tell you what, it wasn't easy, though. Can we say that much, man? You had Blake Lothian in your crosshairs the first two stages. He dominated the two stages. What changed in that third stage to put you in contention to get around him? And it looked like he started to fade back.
I think it was a lot of rhythm and clean air. I was telling the guys, once I got out front, the truck was totally different. I mean, I could go high, low, run my own pace, and that's what I was trying to do, following Blake and Joey. And I noticed, there was a big change late in the race.
Well, man, I asked this question to all of the other drivers actually on the podium, of course, with Maurer as well as on Chu, and I ask you, obviously there's got to be some relief knowing that you're going to the playoffs, and not worried about what these final 4 weeks are going to entail, but I got to ask you, as season 2 rolls along after the All-Star break, you feel like the intensity is definitely going to pick up Meyer to try to make it into those final spots, and there's got to be relief knowing that whatever happens, as long as you do your thing, you're going to be okay to go to the postseason.
Yeah, that was kind of my mindset before the race. Just have a good finish so I can, try to have, at least to make the playoffs and whatnot. And I think, the desperation, the next 4 races are going to be super intense. And we've already seen that in both Monday night and Friday night. The racing has just been insane with the wrecks and stuff. But I think it's definitely going to pick up.
Well, man, before we let you go, thank your sponsors. Big congratulations to you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody at Swim, Millie's Landing, A's Landscaping, Darren's Nail and Gun Repair, Landco, First Pacific Funding, Roofco, Family Handyman, Millie's Restaurant Catering, Millie's North, DSR Electric, Nan. Thank you for sponsoring me both nights. My teammates, Brian, Steven, Justin, Blake, Derek, Jeff wasn't here tonight, and we missed Newbert. I miss my boy. I hope he's listening. And thank y'all for the broadcast and Brady and them putting this stuff on. I know it can be a headache for him and TJ and the rest of the guys, but we do appreciate it.
Well, there's the thoughts again of the driver of the number 82 DSR Electric Toyota. Adam Newton has picked up the win here tonight at the Hoopties Garage 150 here at the, again, Dover Motor Speedway. Again, tonight's broadcast brought to you by, again, Hoopties Garage. Big thanks to the title sponsors, of course, making this event happen. We want to say thank you again to Sim Racer Hub, Glass Mechanic, and the Stage 2 winner, obviously, with Stage 1. Also, Blake Lothian. Thank you to Surf Pro for our caution flag. And again, William Tiller, I want to get your final thoughts. We're moving into the All-Star break coming up next Monday. I know it's going to be wild and intense on the dirt track at Eldora, but I think the word we need to remember is fun. It will be fun, but then after that fun, you've got 1 month, less than that, 4 weeks to try to put yourself into the playoffs if you're going to make a run for a championship in Season 2.
Yeah, absolutely, Wesley, and I think you just crushed it right there. And what the stakes are, of course, tonight's race, one of the fastest races of the entire season, although we did have about 6 or 7 caution flags. Very clean race, very spaced out, very fast, though. Adam Newton gets to be locked into those playoff races. We have a fun race next week. I know when we go dirt track racing in these trucks, it's always a blast. It gives it a chance for some of these drivers to take a breath, to relax a little bit, have some fun, no worries, non-points event. As you mentioned, though, Wesley, after that, it is time to kick that truck into high gear. If you're on that playoff cut line, you got to do whatever you got to do in those last 4 races. And for some of these drivers, Wesley, after this All-Star break, it is playoff races for them, because if they don't perform, they'll miss out on the playoffs altogether.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Of course, the people that are behind the North American Sim Racing Association and the Sim Racer Hub Truck Series on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network is Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott. Of course, producer, director along the way tonight is Adam Flieger. For William Tiller, this is Wesley Outland. We congratulate Adam Newton, winner tonight at Dover. It's the All-Star break at Eldora next Monday night. And the quest rolls on towards the playoffs in Season 2 of the Sim Racer Hub NASCAR Truck Series. Be good to one another. Thanks for tuning in. Archives will be up in a bit. And again, we'll see you next week for the All-Star Fun Race at Eldora.